Hello, and thank you for joining us this weekend for Confessions and Convictions. Remember, I told you during the week we would be doing more topical themed biblical, um, uh, sermons, horror shows. And so now, during the weekend, I'm looking for something that we can fill it with, and I found a pretty good one that I'm going to experiment with from the Moody Bible Institute, who used to play old-time programs, and this is one that features Billy Sunday. Now, before Billy Graham did his crusades with the tents in the 40s, and before Aimee Semple McPherson did hers in the late 10s and 20s and 30s, there was Billy Sunday, a famous ball player who was probably the best and speediest of his time, even before Ty Cobb. Yeah, he has had the records as he was a very good hitter for the years that he played, and was a stolen base king or pretty close to it when he ran. He was fast, and so you're going to hear a little bit of his story today from Moody Bible Institute, hopefully. So here we go. You won't be seeing much video, just me, but you'll be hearing it. Here you go. Let's see here. Technical difficulties.
Well, folks, you've given us a great welcome to Scranton, Pennsylvania. We sure appreciate it. Billy and Ma and the rest of the team all appreciate the hospitality and the generosity you've shown toward us. Turning out in such good numbers, I don't know when I've seen so many handsome delegations teaming up here.
Brody's in fine fettle tonight.
Hope he remembers to mention all the delegations by name.
Always does, always does.
Yeah, now we've heard from our delegation of insurance men, and they've just sung their favorite hymn, Blessed Assurance. I understand we got a delegation of real estate men with us in good numbers. Now tell me, men, what hymn do you like best? Higher ground. Higher ground. Now, just don't price that ground in Scranton too high, or you'll be out of business.
Look at that, Billy. Another delegation just walking in.
Now, wait a
There
minute,
must be
folks.
100 men.
Before we sing that hymn, I think we'll pause to recognize the newest delegation of them all. Just coming in now. Sir, you in the front of this parade. Tell us who you are and where you're from.
We're 100 Philadelphia clergymen representing a score of denominations, Mr. Rodeheaver. We just arrived by train.
We greet our friends everywhere with Chapter 20 of Three Strikes on the Devil, the story of Billy Sunday. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, and is brought to you by the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago. By 1910, Billy Sunday was booked up for months in advance. His team of co-workers had grown to 15. His campaigns were efficiently run.
Well, Billy, I'm sure you realize that the ministers of Philadelphia didn't travel all the way to Scranton just to hear themselves sing I Love to Tell the Story.
No, I don't suppose you did. Just sit down and make yourself comfortable, Mr. Bickley. I'll be bringing in some soup and crackers. You always need a bite after a meeting.
From what you've said, I judge you know why we did travel this distance in a delegation.
It might have been just so you could see how you sounded singing under the best song leader in the country, Homer Rodehaven. No, see, it wasn't. Suppose you tell me, Mr. Bickley.
I'd be glad to.
I'm going to put this hot soup right down here on this table beside your chair, Mr. Bickley.
Thanks, Ma.
Much obliged, Mr. Sunday. Well, then, Billy, I won't keep you guessing any longer. After considerable discussion in our ministerial meetings this winter, the clergymen of Philadelphia reached a conclusion. It was almost unanimous, I might add, to ask you to conduct a revival in our city, and to dramatize, you might say, our request by arriving in a body.
Well, I'm flattered.
We know what you've been doing for cities all over the country for the last 15 years. We're all desperately concerned about our world situation as the war in Europe gains intensity. Even this country seems to hover on the brink. You don't expect me to do anything about that? No, no. It just makes things so much more urgent. Billy, we convinced even the skeptics. I'd like to have heard that. Well, they're convinced, all right. A good many of them came up with us. Please consider this your formal invitation to Philadelphia. I like Philadelphia. Philadelphia was always good to me. Always figured Philadelphians had good lungs. Like to hear them cheer in the bleachers. Now you ministers arrive singing your heads off, and you'll come to us next year. Did I say that? Nope, don't think I did. First place, I never discussed possible campaigns without Ma being here to pay attention to detail. Well, then call her in. Not quite so fast. I've got respect for the cloth. That is some of them, ones like you. But 100 ministers isn't a whole city. The city's a whale of a lot more. I don't go anywhere without considerable backing. I don't understand. We're pledged to stand in back of you. You are, that's fine, but I want the people in back of me. Let's put it this way, Mr. Bickley. If and when I'm convinced that the people, the Christian people of the city of brotherly love want me, then I'll book a revival for your city next year, 1950.
Ought to buy a rubber stamp. Makes letter signing lots more efficient. Not so nice and personal, though. Folks might get their feelings hurt. There, that's that.
Ah, are you there? Been looking all over for you.
Why do you do that? You know, I'm always right here in the office between 9 and 12.
Yes, you are. Well, anyway, I found you now.
And before you close the door and lose me again, I want to remind you that we're going to need 5 more captains for the ushers team before tonight's meeting. Now, Billy, that's 5 more.
5 more? I don't remember.
And I'm writing it down for you. Another thing, if anybody asks, the payroll will be all made out and distributed by tomorrow morning. I'm going to work on it all afternoon.
Guess nobody's worried about that.
Well, somebody always asks. And one more thing, be sure to get your gray suit pressed.
Gray? Which one?
The dark gray.
Double-breasted?
Yes.
I'm on the way.
Not yet. You can't rush through business quite so
yes,
fast.
Yes, I can. That's why I brought you along.
Well, here's the kind of business you like, Billy. It's a letter.
Read it to me.
From Philadelphia.
I'll read it.
I'll tell you what it says. Good news. It's from John Wanamaker. He wants you to come to Philadelphia. He says he wants you to come so much that he'll personally underwrite the finances of the entire campaign. Billy, John Wanamaker's the wealthiest man in Philadelphia.
I know. A wonderful Christian, too.
Well, looks like God wants you to preach in that city, Billy. All you were waiting for was backing. Here it is.
Is it? Well, I hope I don't hurt Wanamaker's feelings.
What do you mean?
We'll have to answer today. Tell him no thanks. Tell him his backing is appreciated, but not good enough. Tell him, oh, Ma, tell him what I really mean. That I'd rather have $1 from a million men than $1 million from one man. That's what I call backing. Brody, where are you going with those hymn books?
We'll get everything set up for tonight, boss.
You can spare 5 minutes.
Not any more than that, boss.
Got some great news. We're going to Philadelphia next year.
Well, expected you might.
You did? Well, I didn't until just now, this morning. A letter came. City's in back of us, Rhodey. They got cottage prayer meetings started up already, a year ahead of time. And the zoning board just gave clearance to build a tabernacle.
It did, huh? Yeah, what are we waiting for?
Nothing now. We got the people working, waiting, praying for us, and we're going. Rhodey, you realize Philadelphia's the biggest city we ever campaigned?
Yeah, boss, the bigger the city, the bigger the challenge. Isn't that what you always say?
And nothing about a big city scares me. Nothing but its sin. Rhodey, big cities today are citadels of sin. They're threatening the American way of life and the good old-fashioned, old-time religion that kept folks living clean Christian lives back in their little old hometowns. Yes, sir, I'm glad Philadelphia wants me.
Well, I've been on construction gangs all over this city. I built everything from chicken coops to firehouses, but this place beats them all. Never see anything like it.
That's because they never built a tabernacle before.
Tabernacle? Even got a crazy name.
That's something from the Bible.
Yeah. Oh, I think I'll take a break. Ain't there something in the good book about God taking a rest once in a while?
It seems so.
Well, we got a lot done.
Now take this crazy contraption that we're working on now.
Yeah, it's a trapdoor.
A trap door right in the middle of a platform? I don't get it.
You ought to ask questions like I do. Seems this guy Sunday pulls up the trapdoor after sermons and jumps down the hole and stands there.
Oh, crazy.
It's the truth, so help me. Makes him shorter, see?
No.
Yeah, see, he can lean right over and shake the hands of the people come up front.
You tell him they like his preaching.
Nah, to get religion. People, they hit the sawdust trail.
He jumps in. Well, I know. Hey, what's that guy over there doing to the pulpit? Hey, yo!
Leave him alone. He's got his orders.
He's putting nails into that pulpit we worship.
Sure he is. Making it solid. Nail him into the floor.
Why?
So it won't topple over when somebody stands on it.
I'm talking about the pulpit, you know.
I know. This guy Sunday's got a style of preaching all his own.
He stands on it? Oh, come on.
Yeah, he kind of takes a run and jump sometimes. Lands right up on top of it. I don't know. It's only what I heard.
Hey, Joe, move out of the way. You gotta lay the carpet where you're at.
Carpet on a platform?
That's so he can run back and forth without making a clatter. This guy used to be a ball player. You know what they say, once an athlete, always an athlete.
Well,
I'll bet there never was a place built quite like this. Why, it'll hold 18,000. See those stoves? 30 of them spotted all around. Place is fireproof, though. Well, they saw to that. Guaranteed fireproof.
well, you and me did it, fella.
And a couple of hundred others to the tune of $24,000, too.
Well, seems like an awful lot of money and work for just 6 weeks of meetings. Well, who might ask? All the same, it's got me curious. You know, I'm coming to hear this guy Sunday spout off about religion.
And now, fellow citizens of the city of brotherly love, we gather together to commemorate an historic moment, the dedication of one of the largest edifices ever erected within the confines of our city. This, fellow Philadelphians, is the structure known as the Tabernacle, to be used solely for the preaching mission of God's servant, Billy Sunday.
How do you do? I'm from the next square, and I'd like to interest you in joining some of us women in a series of prayer meetings. Are they, by any chance, for the Billy Sunday meeting? Why, yes, they are. Oh, I was hoping someone would ask me. Of course I'll join your group for prayers.
You wanted to see me, Pastor?
Yes, sir, I did. I know you give generously to the church, but I'm contacting Christian men regarding the cost of the Billy Sunday meetings. We'd like to raise the cost of the tabernacle at least before the campaign begins.
How much did you say it cost to build a tabernacle?
About $24,000.
Well, here's my check. It'll help.
Thank you. God bless you.
Make my double.
That's the spirit. Drink up while you can.
What do you mean? I got a steady job. I ain't no bum. My money is good.
Simmer down, Mac. All I mean was Billy Sunday's coming to town. He's going to preach that fool sermon of his. You can't tell where it'll take fire. Maybe you get religion.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I will. Bull sermon, huh? That's pretty good.
Well, boss, here's Philadelphia. Now, let me take care of that suitcase for you. Looks like you're going to need both hands free to shake hands with that crowd.
Always did say Philadelphians were an enthusiastic bunch. Listen to that band.
Now, aren't you glad you're here, Billy?
According to John Wanamaker's letter, boss, we're meeting him at a welcoming committee, and there'll be a parade all the way up Market Street.
Yeah, Market Street, eh? Ha. Like old times.
Yes, Mom, glad I'm here.
After that, Wanamaker will settle the whole team into his house.
We can get things organized.
Look, here comes the gentleman himself, John Wanamaker. Here he is coming across the station, right in front of the brass section. Hello, Wanamaker. Team's all here. Sunday's raring to go.
And so we conclude Chapter 20 of Three Strikes on the Devil, the story of Billy Sunday. This was another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, and was produced by the Moody Radio Network.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that weekend edition of Billy Sunday. I think part of why he was a little bit recalcitrant about going to Philadelphia was he used to be a ball player. I think he was offered a lot of money to play there, but back in the day, when the Lord finally got a hold of his heart, he was wondering how he would pay for these campaigns, and finally he did through God's help. Okay. Let's see here. I'm trying to find what happened. Camera. Get to. I don't know what's happened. Get help. Error code. I wonder if we got to actually playing it. Yeah, he'll tell me in a minute. We're here to help. Yeah, they don't help very much. Okay, let's see what happens. Maybe we can find it. That's odd. Oh, here we are. Okay. Well, I guess we can end our show now. Thank you again for tuning in. May the Lord bless and keep you. Until next time, if you have any thoughts or suggestions, let us know. This was an experiment, so we may do it or may not for the weekends.